Welcome back, boys, to another Sparky Raw video. Today we're going to be talking about the worst thing that I experienced in Japan. That is going to the club. Speaking of Japan, you guys showed a good amount of support on the last video. We got 200 views. Man, rebuilding is a beautiful thing. But as I explained in that last video, Japan was amazing, beautiful, and even in a lot of regards, what I'm about to explain to you wasn't all bad. Everything was amazing, but this was definitely probably the worst thing that I experienced. And just keep in mind, this is just my experience. I'm even going to be honest with you guys and say that a lot of this, I'm not going to say it's my fault, but I think there's better ways to enjoy clubbing in Japan and in foreign countries. I just happened to get the shitty end of the stick that particular night, right? And by I mean me and my friends. So without any further ado, let's talk about it. So clubbing in Japan is something that I was personally very excited to do. If you guys ever watched movies, I'm gonna be honest, just in general, not just Japan, but Asia in general, or just seeing certain TikToks or people's videos, Japan and Asia in general knows how to throw a fucking party, right? At least aesthetically. Obviously, when you're dealing with content and when you're dealing with movies and stuff, a lot of that is looked at through rose-tinted glasses. They embellish certain things. And quite frankly, as good as something might look aesthetically, the actual culture and the people behind it is really what can ruin everything, right? I don't give a shit how good your party looks. At the end of the day, if there's a bunch of weirdos there, then it's not gonna be a good party. I don't care what confetti you have. I don't care if you got fucking champagne poppy in the section. That's just how things go. But anyways, clubbing was always something that I was pretty excited to do in Japan because it looked fun. Clubbing experience in the US, it's all right. If you're conventionally attractive and know how to dress and actually go out of your way to socialize with people and let loose. But 90% of the time it's just gonna be a bunch of people sitting in their section, girls shaking ass, dudes that go there to fucking Aura Farm, sipping on whatever it is, just sitting there taking videos. Yeah, I'm having so much fun, and they're not having fun, right? So I was really looking forward to this. So what happened was, one night me and my friends basically went shopping. Shout out the Used Lounge, y'all took care of us really well. So we were talking to some of the associates about what clubs to go to and stuff. And they were giving us a short list of clubs. There was one particular club, and I don't remember the name right now, I'm not gonna lie, that we were mainly encouraged to go to. The problem is the next day it ended up raining, and the main appeal of that club is that it's an outdoor club, right? And this is the middle of October, or the beginning of October rather, so yeah, I wasn't really feeling that. And yeah, he just gave us a few options. We didn't really 100% get to finish that discussion, but I had the main club that I wanted to go to in my mind, and spoiler alert, we didn't get to go. But that night, one of the associates was actually telling us hey man, I'm about to slide to a little club right after work. A little later, it was probably 9 o'clock at this point. That function was gonna start at 1, so we had some time to kill. So we're shit, sure. We basically just killed one of the birds we wanted to kill anyway with that one, right? We didn't have anything to do that night. Only issue is we were hungry, so we went to go get some conveyor belt sushi. Same dude, the associate, cool guy, brought us there. We got our food, went home to go on about our day. So after we get home from eating, we basically just chilled out for a little bit. Some of us took a nap, some of us did our own thing. One of my friends actually got to the hotel room before us because she was tired, so she left. So I ended up calling her at 12 to be hey, you wanna come to the club with us? And then she was she honestly sounded like she didn't really want to do it, but I think she just forced herself to say yes. And so we ended up all going. We took an Uber over there. I texted dude from the store that invited us. Let's just call him Jerry. And he was yeah, pull up. It's cool. Everything's all right. So yeah, we get there, and the way this club is set up, it's basically in Japan, I noticed this about a lot of places, there will be a tall ass building full of a fuck ton of shit to do. And depending on what floor you go to and where you get off, it'll be there might be a club on the 5th floor, there might be a happy ending spot on the 6th. I didn't actually see a happy ending spot, but that's the first thing that came to my head. But there might just a bunch of random stuff on a bunch of random floors. So So then we got off on like the 6th floor, and we were basically at the club. I think we had to give them IDs or something like that, and we were good. We got in. I remember there wasn't that many people. There were probably like, I want to say 25 people, and the venue wasn't that crazy. It was more adjacent to a lounge than a club, I would say. And I just remember seeing like some cool looking people there, people that could dress, girls with like their hair dyed, they're wearing hysteric glamour, they're fly. My type of people, you know? And one particular thing that I remember is like a bunch of people were in there smoking cigarettes, and like, yo, no glaze, but I don't know what it is about Japanese cigarettes. They smell so much better than cigarettes in the US. And mind you, I don't smoke, but like, I'm from New York, so I deal with the smell of cigarettes 25/8, even though me or no one in my family smokes. It's just something you kind of have to deal with. And cigarettes fucking stink. I hate the smell. They smell terrible. I just hate everything about them. But over there, it's like, yo, I remember as a kid, I remember like they used to make cologne, and one of the scents that they would use for cologne is tobacco. And I remember wondering like, how the fuck could tobacco smell good? That was a pretty good representation of how tobacco should smell, if it is gonna smell good, right? But it was a vibe, and most importantly, the DJ was fucking cooking. Now, I'm not a huge EDM person. It's something that I listen to very casually, or like if I do go out to a club and the DJ is playing EDM or like the dubstep, you know, like that type of sounding music, I can loosely enjoy it if it's good, or like if the set is obviously fire, right? But it's not something that I'm gonna like go in the shower and listen to, right? I think that's just not for me. But this set had me reconsidering a lot of things, bro. He was playing some like UK grime mixed with that EDM sound, some hip-hop remixes of that sound, like absolutely cooking. If I find the foot, damn, I don't want to say that because then that means I have to edit. I may or may not put the footage there, like just some small footage to kind of give y'all. I may or may not put the footage in, but if I do, y'all can thank me. If not, be grateful. But yeah, man, I had like 2 drinks in me, and in Japan, as I told you, drinks are like dirt fucking cheap. So, you know, they were a little bit more expensive here, but overall, I'd say they weren't that bad, reasonably priced. But yeah, I was just there chilling with my friends. What's the fake name of the dude that I gave you that worked at the store again? I don't know. We're gonna call him Thomas now. Thomas brings over like 3 or 4 more people, and they're basically like, yo, what's up, man? I'm his friend. Where are you guys from? Oh, New York. Oh my God, you guys are so fly. Like New York is just, oh man, I always wanted to go to New York. You feel me? Like I enjoy the glaze. I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy the glaze, right? And I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way, but like, yo, I don't know, man. Japan loves New York, and New York loves Japan, so yeah. So yeah, I'm talking to this dude, and we're just talking about like fashion and stuff, and like what they be into and what I be into. I told him I'm a YouTuber. He told me how he does like a bunch of creative shoots and stuff, and we're basically talking about stuff. He's like, yo, you guys look like naturally really good in clothes, man. Like one day I'd like to get you guys to do something for us. And I'm like, yeah, man, yeah, you know, all good. The whole time, like, I realistically don't even know when I'm going back to Japan. You feel me? Trips can be a little expensive, man. Trips can be a little expensive, but I'm entertaining it. I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm gonna be back here like next year. Hopefully I really do go back. And I will go back next year, but like in my head, I'm not 100% sure about that, obviously. So yeah, it was just a good time, man. The music was good, the vibes were there, people weren't weird, everyone was friendly. And overall, it wasn't quite the club experience I was expecting. Once again, it was a smaller space and it seemed a little bit more intimate. Like, it didn't seem like it was just one of those things where obviously clubs are just like widely known. And then it's like, if you pull up, you pull up. This seemed like, okay, a select amount of people were invited and we just got the DJ to play, and you know, it was cool. It was really good. So as you guys know though, this wasn't something that we had meticulously planned. This is just something that happened on the spot because we happened to have a good relationship with one of the sales associates at the store I was at. And man, this was one of the most misleading things I did in my life, because now I'm thinking to myself like, yo, clubbing in Japan is fire, bro. Like, if this little ass club gave me this enjoyable experience, then what's tomorrow gonna look like? Because tomorrow we had planned specifically to go clubbing. And the problem with what we did was This is literally a day before we had to leave at like 6 or 7 in the morning to go to Hakone, which is, you know, like the countryside of Japan. A long ass trip, long trip. Definitely not something you want to go out drinking and partying the previous night before you do. The next day goes by, we're chilling, everything is good. I forgot what we did that day, but nighttime came. Now at this point, we're in probably, in terms of just like from a luxury standpoint, the nicest hotel that we were in that entire trip. I personally hated it, right? I have my own gripe against nice hotels, at least in Japan I did. I'll get into that another time, but I didn't really enjoy the hotel that much. But what I did enjoy was the fact that they had a rooftop bar with dirt cheap drinks, and it was just like a vibe. So I remember from earlier in that day, we had the plan to like, we're gonna go upstairs to this bar. Well, no, actually, I know we did this day. The whole day we basically just stayed in the hotel. I checked in, we all checked in, we took a nap a little bit because we were tired from the previous night, checked in our luggage, everything was good. And honestly, I might as well give you all the reason that I don't like fancy hotels, or at least this particular type of hotel. So this particular hotel is like a tall ass building, quite literally like out of the way of the city. The reason I don't like hotels like that is because it doesn't encourage you to do anything, right? My room is on like the 15th floor. There's a convenience store downstairs. There's a pharmacy downstairs. Like, unless you're specifically going out with plans, it's hard to just go outside and roam around and just enjoy yourself. The previous hotel we were at was literally integrated into like a place where tourists would never go. So in a lot of ways, I felt like a local. I started recognizing faces 3 days in. I started getting familiar with the people that worked at the konbini. It was really nice. The beautiful thing about that hotel is that they had a rooftop bar. As I said, it was a really nice rooftop bar. It seemed like something out of like some fucking Yakuza movie where like they just go congregate at this bar to like go have a meeting about whose head they're gonna cut off the next day, you know? Real high profile shit. So nighttime comes and we go there essentially to pregame. We're chilling, I got a few drinks, my friends got a few drinks. I didn't drink to the point where I got drunk personally, just because I'd just rather not do that. Still earlier on in the night, but I did get like some plum wine and I got some truffle fries. Once again, very cheap, so I enjoyed myself. Some of the best truffle fries I had in my life, by the way. Anyway, we go do that. We go back to our rooms. The one other thing that you gotta do when you go to Japan, we didn't try the McDonald's yet. And this is really where things hit the fan. So we order McDonald's. I think I got like a teriyaki burger for myself with like some shrimp nuggets that they were supposed to have and some fries and a tea. We ordered that food. The delivery guy pulls up. Literally on the map, it says he's downstairs. He wanders around the fucking hotel for some reason. We go downstairs, we're like, yo, we're here, where you at? It's like, oh, I'm in the front desk, at the front desk. As I'm literally looking the receptionist in the eye and I'm like, hey, did you see anyone? She's like, no, maybe you have to check like behind the hotel. I'm like, okay, yeah, so we did that. In the process of doing that, bastard cancels the fucking order. Cool, whatever, I've been through this before. I'm an avid food orderer, so sometimes this happens. Sometimes you do get that low IQ scum, waste of sperm, that doesn't know how to navigate the block. So he ends up canceling the order and, you know, you end up eating nothing that night and he gets a free meal. I'm gonna get that refund, but you know, you got it for now. But the problem is now, after he canceled the order, it said that like, yeah, you can't order from this McDonald's anymore. So I'm like, holy fucking shit. Mind you, we waited for this food for, I kid you not, an entire hour. So I know whatever they're gonna bring me isn't gonna be fresh at this point. I just know it. It is what it is, right? So we ordered the McDonald's again. We ended up going to actually see if we could catch the fucking bastard outside so he doesn't do the same shit that the last nigga did. And that ended up going well, but yeah, you can kind of understand based upon how the bag feels, this food ain't gonna be hot. So we ended up eating it. It was really mid. Now, if you guys go to Japan, I ain't gonna tell y'all not to order McDonald's because obviously my food was cold. My experience might not be yours, but like, that was legit some of the most disappointing food that I ever had. Now, I wasn't personally expecting anything amazing, but it was just like, I don't know, man. Everyone goes to other countries and they're like, oh, McDonald's is so good, McDonald's. But like, bro, I don't know, bro. I don't know what part of me thought that putting teriyaki sauce on a beef burger would be peak, but like, yeah, that part of me deserves a slap in the face. Anyway, We end up finishing our food. We don't feel that great. Some of my friends actually ended up falling asleep because they got so fucking drunk and we waited so long for the food. A little incident happened where I ended up falling off of the bed and hitting the back of my head on the sharp part of the bed oh god, not the bed, the dresser. And really that didn't feel very good. So that was strike two for, you know, the fact that I probably should have just stayed home. So we end up going downstairs. I remember discussing to my friends like, hey, we're not gonna go to this club anymore because it's a rooftop club, and I already explained to you the issue. It was supposed to rain that night and it didn't even really end up raining that heavy, but it was supposed to rain that night, so let's not do that. Let's go to this club instead. I gave them the choice like, yo, which club should we go to first? They said whatever, left it up to me. We arrive at the club. We're just on the outside at this point. I'm not really expecting much, but here's the problem. My friend had forgot his ID at home. This is now strike three, right? This is now strike three. At this point, when this shit happened, I said to myself like, yo, bro, I'm gonna be honest, I don't have a good feeling about tonight. And I said that shit out loud. Realistically, I probably should have kept it to myself, but I also probably should have just went the fuck home after all that shit happened, right? But I didn't. So he ends up going to get his ID. No big deal. We end up going inside of the club. It's $30 to get inside of this club. And I don't mean like $30 to say like 3,000 yen. I mean like 30 US dollars to get inside of this club. Now, I'm no stranger to high prices to getting inside of clubs, right? You know, as I explained, I'm from New York. That's not even the most that I paid to get inside of a club, but like for Japan, it's like, yo, y'all did the conversion rates for this one because I ain't never paid $30 for nothing in Japan up until that point, man. That was kind of crazy. A couple of red flags. There was just something about the people outside waiting to get into the club that I found a little questionable, right? And that is that it didn't feel like there was a demographic. So like, at least here, you kind of have an idea of the type of people that would go to a club. It's gonna be people that would wear, you know, presentable clothing, people that would smell good, people that get fly, right? The clubs have a look, right? On the women's side, it'll be like, you know, black dresses with the little kitten heels, if that's the right thing, or you might see the Y2K girls wearing the fucking baggy Ed Hardy jeans with the TikTok shop vintage shirt. Like, you know, they put effort, but like there's just, you see some dudes that like older people, then it's like some people that look like they could be in high school just chilling outside. So I'm like, hey, you know, this is interesting. We go downstairs. I'm hearing Taylor Swift. Not a good sign. Nothing against Taylor Swift. If you love her music, all power to you. But I definitely think there's something to be said about her music. I think it's like the Drake effect, but to a worse degree. Not that there's anything wrong with the Drake music, but like, it's one of those things where like, it feels like it's curated towards the most broad amount of listeners that they can possibly try to appeal to. Everyone has to be able to listen to Drake. Everyone has to be able to listen to Taylor Swift. So if that is what you're hearing when you're stepping into a function, it's not always a bad sign. It really depends on what song they're playing. I can't tell you that much about Taylor Swift, man. I don't listen to that girl, bro. But it's not a good sign. So we get downstairs and I feel a lot of mixed things, right? Oh, one more thing too. A lot of times when you go to clubs in Japan, they'll give you like a ticket or 2 tickets for like free drinks at the bar. So like, that's why I wasn't tripping over the $30 too much, that's good. That's solid, whatever, cool. The drinks ended up being fucking watered down, but it don't even matter, man. That's just what happens. That's a universal thing, clearly. So I go downstairs and this particular club, the ambiance is amazing. It's everything you've seen on TikTok. Depending on what song they're playing, like, bro, they're throwing, confetti is falling out of the air. It really does look like something out of a movie. But like, once again, a few more issues. There's Taylor Swift playing, right? 3 or 4 Taylor Swift songs in like 2012 ask pop club banger songs, which I don't have a problem with in isolation. But like, I'm looking around once again and there's girls twerking to this music. Now, I'm not the type of person to judge. Who the fuck am I kidding? You don't twerk to certain, like, there's certain dances you do to certain types of music, right? This music is more like like a little, you feel me, like a little Grand Theft Auto, Vice City. You see the bitches, like this is that kind of vibe. Why do I see like fucking petite Asian girls shaking ass to Taylor Swift? I'm like, who's the demographic that we're trying to appeal to? Like, what is going on? I'm just seeing all types of characters. I'm seeing, like, I'm gonna be honest, bro, a lot of people in there looked like incels. And it started to make sense to me, like, yo, this is why the music is so broad. This is why they feel it's comfortable to charge $30 at the door, because, like, there's no direction. They're just like, hey, come in, loud music, confetti, we will create that environment and anyone can pull up. Now, the thing about club culture in the US is sometimes it can be a bit cutthroat, especially in New York, right? If you don't look good or you're not dressed up to par, they will straight up tell your ass to fucking leave. They will. It just is what it is, and right, I feel like a lot of people have a problem with this, but like in this moment I understood why they do this. There was a lot of weirdos at this club. It's just the vibe that I got, bro. Like, people that don't care about their physical appearance, people that, like, it's people you wouldn't expect to be at a club. And I see why they have some of these strict guidelines when it comes to clubbing in the US now, because, bro, that shit, like, I didn't want to be there. Like, I felt like I did not belong there. It just, like, it just felt lame. There was no cohesion. It's just like, yo, this is just a club. We're playing music and we're just trying to appeal to anyone that may or may not pull up. And the thing is, that business model is clearly working for them because there were a bunch of people there. But it was just kind of like, it was just kind of whack, man. It didn't feel cool. It didn't have that same kind of cool vibe that the one we went to the previous night was. Like something that was actually put together. Something where it's like, yo, we know our audience and we know what we're doing. It's just like the most broad shit you can possibly see, and you're gonna run into a lot of characters with that. So we end up seeing another sales associate from the store with the dude, I'm gonna call him David now because I forgot his second name, he had invited us to. So then he's like, yo, what's up, what y'all doing here? We like, shit, we just seeing what the vibes is. The vibes were not there. So then he's like, yo, bro, the Nelk boys are in the section. I'm like, oh, word, the Nelk boys, word, like, that's what's up. Didn't really care. Like, this is exactly the type of club that the Nelk boys would pull up to, because like the people that are here would probably sit there and worship that dude. I ain't even gonna sit there and lie to you. So we stayed there for a little bit. I tried to make it work, but it just wasn't my vibe. And then the worst thing about it too is, on top of the fact that all this shit is happening, I don't know what it is about like the clubs we went to in Japan, bro. It's like people don't understand boundaries and personal space. I'm getting pushed. People are stepping on me. There's no excuse me. There's no fear of the fact that, like, yo, maybe if you know, I don't know, push a nigga, he might punch you in your fucking face. You know, there's just none of that. Like, people just like, oh, fuck it. Ooh, it's like they don't dance, or like they try to dance, but like, yo, on top of the dancing, let me just shove people out of the fucking way. And like, that shit was really killing me too, because it's like, these types of people should not be here, thriving, taking up the majority of who's here. It was just really bad. It was just really bad. The vibes were not there. And I noticed something that's gonna come into play in the next club that we go to, so stay tuned. But there's a lot of dudes outside, right? There's a lot of dudes that are just walking around free roaming, right? Trying to get to the front where things are active, I guess. And in the sections, I mainly see only girls. Like, only girls. Complete, like, just girls or people that obviously have money. And then on the outskirts, it's just like, I'm gonna be honest, nigga, lame looking niggas, bro. They just there. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. We leave that club. I'm like, listen, y'all want to try one more? That was not a good experience, but based on the high of the experience that I had the previous night, I'm like, yo, let's see if we could find something better than this. My friends are like, yeah, man, let's do it. We go to another club. This one was a little bit more promising, but once again, they were charging $30 with I think one free drink ticket, and for girls it was $10. So I'm like, okay, maybe they have a little bit more of an understanding, right? Because clubs charge, you know, if you guys don't know, once again, clubs tend to charge girls less, because where the girls go, that's where the clubs be jumping. You get the girls in there, the dudes want to come in there and spend money. It's a business model. It's like a match made in heaven, right? And I'm gonna be honest, bro, like, yo, call me shallow, but like, this is just what it is, man. If I am gonna go to a club, I'd like it to be women there. I would, right? If I wanted to have a sword fight, I would just fucking boot up Wii Sports Resort, but I'm not gonna do that. So we get there, and upstairs, it's like they're playing a bunch of Spanish music. I'm like, okay, cool. This is solid. I'm actually like trying to vibe. Is this necessarily my vibe? No, but you know, we're seeing where things go. And I do see women, but the majority of women are with men. So it's like, you know, it's cool. We just vibe for a little bit. Then they're like, oh yeah, there's a downstairs too. I'm like, bet. Son, let me tell you something, bro. I get downstairs, they playing Best Friend by Young Thug. Them my best friend, them my best friend. I'm like, oh my God, I'm home. We struck, my nigga, we struck. They playing the tunes. We lit, bro. I'm like, yo, this is what's up. So then me and my friend, we running that bitch. We singing the Thug. I promise you, bro, it felt like walking in on the first day of school with a nice ass fit. Everyone looking at us. We like, yo, like we tearing this bitch up. Like, you feel me? Then he abruptly cuts off the music, the high wears off, and I'm like, okay, like what are we doing now? Then this dude like starts playing some bullshit. I'm like, he got me. Now, with this particular club, it's a very similar story to the last one, except things were a little bit more intense in there. Oh, real quick, I forgot to mention this one story. Yeah, so the other time they clickbaited me in the club was when they basically started playing Evil Jordan by Playboi Carti. And if you know me and you know my friends, I'm a sucker for some Carti, bro. I love fucking Carti. So that was the second time we ran onto that dance floor. And then they cut this shit off to sing Happy Birthday to some nigga in the front. No one gives a fuck that it's your birthday, bro. You cut off the best shit you played in this club to date. And I'm not just saying that because it's Carti. I'm saying that because the DJ had no direction. Dirt, transitions, everything trash, all that. To sing Happy Birthday to some random dude. Mind you, bro, no one's even singing Happy Birthday, bro. Half of the people in this club probably don't even all speak the same language, bro. What are you doing, buddy? But yeah, that shit got me tight too. I forgot to throw that in there. Yeah, back to the video though. Once again, there's a bunch of dudes outside pushing each other, right? But this club was a little bit more diverse. There's some black people here, there's some Asian people here, there's like some people from other countries. I don't know, but they still do have the people that don't look like they should be at a club, right? Once again, let's be honest, there's a certain look for niggas who look like they should be at a club, right? This had a mixture of some of those people, but also people who should probably be at like the fucking anime convention. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love the anime convention. I'll be there too, but like, let's just be honest, there's kind of a reason why these things don't happen, right? It's kind of like a circle that feeds itself. The club kind of filters these people out because they want the people in it. It's just a whole thing, man. The more I talk about it without going into explanation, I'm gonna seem like more of an asshole, but that's just the reality, right? But there's mainly dudes on the outskirts, and all of the girls are like in sections once again. So I'm like, why is it that there's no girls here? Mind you, the people that I'm here with, it's 3 dudes and 1 girl. Then I start looking around and just seeing, just paying attention, just observing. Everyone look about thirsty as hell. People don't look like they're there to have fun. They just look like they're there to just like siphon and absorb people's energies, bro. I'm like, what the fuck? Where am I at? So then I'm chilling once again, trying to vibe. I'm getting pushed, annoyed at this point. And then there's this one dude, there's like 2 dudes. It's like a fat dude and like some skinny dude. Everywhere I go, I keep getting pushed and I look over and it's him. I move, right? Because once again, I'm in Japan, right? Where I'm from, that shit not gonna slide. You're gonna hear something about yourself, and then if it continues after that, you gonna get slapped, nigga. You're gonna get hit. That's just how it goes. It is what it is, right? I'm not saying I would have done that. I'm pretty level-headed myself, but like I was really getting to the point where like I would really like to, but I didn't end up doing that. So I just kept moving. I keep looking, and it's like, yo, it's the same fat dude like rubbing his arm against mine. So then I said, yo, bro, like, relax, please, just relax, all right? Just relax. He's like, okay. And I'm beyond, I couldn't tell what race this dude was, bro. All I know is he was pretty big. And I don't mean like big, like chubby. I mean like, bro, top 1% Arby's enjoy your big, bro. And then it was one of his friends. I don't know. I have no idea what ethnic group they belong to. All I know is that's just what it was. So then I said, like, yo, relax. And then I look around. He stopped doing it to me, of course. And then I seen he does it to another tall black nigga with dreads. So I'm like, this nigga got a fetish. So then I go up to the nigga, right? I ain't gonna lie, bro. This nigga's in that bitch dancing, throwing up his set. I'm like, he just in that, like, you know, just throwing up his set. I'm like, yo, like what's the word? I dap him up, we talking or whatever. We're all just talking or whatever. He's telling me where he's from. He's like, he's from LA, everything's cool, everything's cordial. So then I told him, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna be honest, bro, that nigga keeps rubbing himself up against men that have a similar look to us, to be quite honest with you. So then he's like, oh, word, bet, I'm gonna move him out the way. So then eventually he did the shit again, like I said, and then he ended up telling them about himself. So I'm like, all right, cool, right? Bada bing, bada boom. At this point, I'm just hyper aware about the fact that, like, there's just a bunch of weirdos there's just a bunch of weirdos here. It's a lot of incel energy here, and I'm starting to understand why girls are only in sections by themselves where the dudes are not, because it's just like this thirsty, lustful, pushy energy. It's like no one's there to have fun. They're just there to, like, see what what they can get out of this situation to fulfill their fantasies, bro. And it's just like, I'm not with that. So mind you, I'm there with one of my female friends, and I didn't forget about her. Every now and then I kept looking back to see if she was in the same place, and after a while she wasn't. So then I texted her. I was like, yo, are you good? She said, yeah. I was like, listen, if anything sus happens, just let me know. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh my god, like, I hope she's paying attention. So I just gave her that little heads up to let her know, like, it's weird in here. And then we went on about our day. I think I went back upstairs to where they were blasting Spanish with the same dude from LA. We were talking and chilling. He's like, nah, man, like, shit, looking like a meat fest down here, man. Like, let's go upstairs. I'm like, I bet. We went upstairs. All the women left. Literally all the women left. They were gone. It's like a fucking woman plague happened up there. The nigga looks at me. He said, yo, fo, there's approximately 0 bitches up here. We back downstairs. Like, he had a point. He had a point. There was approximately 0, you feel me, word. So we go back downstairs. I see my friend is no longer in the spot that she was in. So I'm like, okay, man, I gotta go find my friend. I look at my phone. She texts me. She's like, okay, yeah, someone just tried to grab me. I'm like, it was a matter of time, to be honest. I'm like, are you good? Like, where you at? She's like, oh, I'm at the Family Mart across the street. Oh, you guys can stay if you guys, I don't want to ruin your night. Da, 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 da. I'm like, bro, I don't care about my night being ruined. It is about your safety, and quite frankly, even if it was gonna come down to that, I'm not having the most splendid time of my fucking existence tonight anyway either. Not that that mattered once again, but like, I'm like, nigga, I'm out, nigga, we are out. Where you at? What's going on? So we ended up leaving the club, bro, right after, and another situation that got me so upset, bro. Yo, let me just be honest with y'all, bro. There's a lot of things that happened in those clubs that, if I'm being real, I don't know if things are just different in Japan, but like, where I come from, it's sexual assault. Like, it is. People just kind of, things are supposed to be consensual, but people kind of just take it there. It's like rubbing up on people, pushing people, like things are just a little bit more physical. It's more like a mosh pit than it is a club. So I say this for no other reason than to just give you an idea of like how shitty the security is, right? People are literally getting grabbed up. All this shit is happening to people, especially women, and nothing is being done about it, to the point where like women are literally, to the point where like the only women that I see in these clubs are in their own section away from other people. Security is literally pushing people, bulldozing people, nigga, out of the way on some like Hulk shit, to tell people not to sit on top of the couches, to tell people not to block the doorways. Like in America, like things that, you know, security could just go up to you and just be like, hey man, you mind moving out the way? I bet, man, yeah, my fault. Like, I'm talking shoulder checking niggas to get them off of the couch. I'm like, priorities? Where? So I'm watching this shit happen. I'm getting pushed by security, bro, and I'm looking at the nigga. He's not even like batting an eye. Like it's not even like what he's doing. He's classifying in his head as an issue. He's just like, yo, I just get to shove people, and this is my job. It doesn't matter that nothing's even happening. I'm over it at this point, right? Left the club. My friend ended up telling me like, yeah, these two dudes basically asked me if I could take a picture for them, and then when I agreed, they fucking grabbed me. I'm like, oh my fucking god. But like, this is what I was talking about, because I could sense that thirsty ass energy in the fucking club. Just both of the clubs that I went to, right? It was bad. It was really bad. Overall, though, that shit wasn't that enjoyable. Now, I'm not gonna say that clubbing in Japan was bad as a whole, because my experience that I had the first night was great. I just think I'm probably not going to go clubbing unless someone from Japan invites me again, or I just have more information on, yo, this is when this specific DJ might be playing, or like, yo, this is... There's certain circumstances where these environments can be better, but like, I feel like you kind of just have to know people or go on certain nights where there's going to be a certain demographic or they have things that are aligned for the night. Like a week before I went, at one of the same clubs we went to, Ice Spice was there, and they basically invited a bunch of midnight ballerinas from Magic City in Atlanta. I'm like, okay, this club might be up to par. And from those videos, I seen a completely different demographic than what I ended up seeing when I actually went. And man, it just sucks, bro. It really does suck. Say what you want about clubbing in America, or getting girls in America, or like partying in America, but like, the general consensus is, if you are going to go there to talk to women, you gotta have like some sort of game. There's like a level of strategy. It's like chess. You go, you make your rounds, you might dance with a woman consensually, you might talk to her, and then it's like whatever happens, happens. If you don't get it, you move on and you go about your night and you continue to have fun. There, bro, it's like a level of thirstiness that I just don't think mixes in with spaces like that. And this is why I understand why certain clubs are just like so particular about who walks in, because I don't think it's a coincidence that a lot of the niggas that are in these clubs look like incels, and they acting like it too. Like they're going in, grabbing up on men, grabbing up on the women. It's just, it's like a PvP server, man. And I'm just not, that's not something that I personally enjoyed. And I just don't think it's a coincidence what was going on based on who was there. The vibes were not there. The DJs were just playing anything, and it was okay, because like here, you don't want the cool people to leave. You don't want the women to leave. In Japan, it's like, at least at those specific clubs, it's like, yo, people there are just happy to be able to say like, yo, I went to a club. That's it. It could be a bunch of men in here. It could be a bunch of women in here. I'm gonna just see what I could get out of this situation forcefully, and then that's the club. That's the club, and man, I just didn't enjoy that. Now, keep in mind, I'm not saying that this is how all clubs in Japan are. I'm just saying this is my specific experience and what I noticed and why I didn't enjoy it. Now, if you're from Japan or you've been to Japan and you have like better club recommendations or advice, or you know, you just want to give me your opinion, by all means, comment section is down there. But like, yeah, that was my experience. That wasn't that enjoyable. But overall, if you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you want more rants, I guess, or story times. And yeah, I'm out, y'all.